Welcome back to the Kosi channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. About a month ago, I made a post on this channel and I said Arsenal should focus on the Champions League and not the Premier League. And my reasons were easy. The Champions League has fewer games and we have a chance to win it. The Premier League had gone. Liverpool were about 8 points ahead of us at the time. And at the time of recording this one, Liverpool are about 10 points or 11 above Arsenal. It is a lost cause. We can't win the Premier League. But when it comes to the Uefa Champions League, Arsenal are 4 games away from lifting a trophy, a major trophy this season. Now, I'm not saying these 4 games are quite easy or they're going to be easy, but it is doable and there is hope. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's dive into how have the chances maybe increased for Arsenal or decreased as we take on Madrid in the second leg. We have beaten them fair and square, flat-footed in the first leg. Does this mean that Arsenal are now one of the favourites to lift the Champions League this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. After getting Madrid done, if Arsenal do get Madrid done, do you think that puts us in the bracket of clubs that are actually favorites to win it? For me, when I look at the likes of Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, FC Barca, and the likes of PSG, they are all very good teams, but they're not teams Arsenal cannot do a job on. So let's dive in. First and foremost, I want to say, if you knock out Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League, you can do anything in the competition. Obviously, this doesn't mean that Arsenal have already won it, but it means that psychologically, what that does to you is very different. The preparation you have for Real Madrid psychologically, mentally, emotionally, just helps you to propel you into the different stages and the latter stages of the competition with ease. If you go through the quarterfinals and you beat Madrid, we can go to the semis and meet Aston Villa and meet PSG and do an absolute job on them. So for me, Real Madrid has been a big test for us, and I think we have passed it with flying colors so far. Now, I'm going to say this. The second leg of the Champions League against Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu is going to be different. It's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be pressure. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be tense. There's going to be a lot of tension on the horizon. If Arsenal can go through that tension, if Arsenal can go through those emotions, if we can get through that pressure, we have a real chance at silverware this season, and not just any silverware. Silverware that means that Arsenal will play in the Super Cup for the very first time, and silverware that means that Arsenal will play in the Club World Cup for the very, very first time as well. So for me, the Madrid tie has been decided. Unless we do a catastrophic mistake. I don't know what kind of mistake is gonna be. Maybe Mikel comes and says, we're just gonna pack the pass and allow Madrid attack us all through. Or we just open ourselves and Madrid cut us through with Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Valverde, and all that. But if we come and stay disciplined, play a 50-50 game, we attack them 50%, we defend 50%, we create an attacking threat for them, they kind of feel like, all right, we have a problem in behind, and then we also allow them to come and catch them on the break. I think Madrid is done and dusted. Arsenal don't have any reason they will give us if they lose this tie 3-0 or 4-0 in the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, like I said, it's gonna be different, right? Emotionally, it's a bigger test. Emotionally, it's a behemoth of a quiz. But we've got to go out there and do it. We've got to answer the questions correctly, and we've got to provide the right answers. Now, apart from the quarterfinals, because this one for me is done, let's look at the semifinals. And the semifinals really point to why Arsenal could win the Champions League this season. Now, I don't really remember thinking that Arsenal would, by this time, would be playing Madrid and would have a 3-0 lead at home, and we would be thinking about playing the semifinals. I never thought about it. But the semifinals are quite interesting. When I looked at PSG, they have been good all season. They are really good all season, and they're a devastating team. The problem with PSG is that they're not like Madrid, they're not like Manchester City, they're not like any team we have played this campaign. PSG this campaign would be the most, I would say, complete team Arsenal will ever play in the season 2024-2025. That is the truth. They have a very good attack in Dembele, Gunkara Ramos, and the likes of Bradley Bacola, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia as well. That attack is devastating. Ask Liverpool. And their midfield is also well drilled, talented, very disciplined, and they do enough. That is, you have the likes of Joao Gomez in there, you have the likes of Vitinha in that midfield, and of course the boy that we wanted to sign in the summer, right after the Euros for Spain, Fabian Ruiz. They've got a very, very good midfield. And their backline isn't bad as well, and they've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world in Gigi Donnarumma. So the semi-finals will set us up for the final, because I feel like I don't think there is a more complete team in the world right now. For me, in my opinion, there is no more complete team in the world right now than PSG. But PSG are beatable. They are not this kind of team that you can't do a job on. In fact, across both legs, Liverpool were the worst team. I mean, they had a very, very good performance against Liverpool at the Anfield, and they had a very good performance against Liverpool at the Parc des Princes. But Liverpool had better chances, and Liverpool could have won that game. Liverpool were dumped out by PSG because of sheer luck, honestly. But also, Liverpool didn't take their chances, right? Of course, PSG had a lot more chances they didn't take, and maybe against Arsenal they'll take those chances. But our defense is better than Liverpool's. There's no question about that. And our midfield, in terms of defense and control, is better than Liverpool's. So the semi-final against PSG or Aston Villa, that is where the real drama is going to come from. Teams at the same level. I think we're at the same level as PSG. They just have a good season. They just have they're in form and they're faced less injuries. Should we ask for Villa? Now, Unai Emery is a specialist at these games. He's a specialist at semi-finals, quarterfinals, and finals, right? Especially in Europe, he's good. He's really, really good. I wouldn't ask for Aston Villa. Just like I said, Aston didn't need Atletico Madrid. The problem with Atletico Madrid is they're so well drilled, and Madrid had a hard time going through them. I don't think Arsenal would have an easy time going through Atletico Madrid. That is the same thing with Aston Villa. Villa would come into these games knowing we are not as good as Arsenal. We just need to sit in shape. We just need to hold our lines, and we just need to make sure that we don't concede. And then unleash Marco Asensio, unleash Marcus Rashford, unleash all these devastating wingers, the likes of Daniel Marlin that we have, and then create havoc and chaos. So I don't want a team like Villa. Villa are going to come to sit back, and they will make it difficult for us. Now, psychologically and mentally, Villa are quite of a lightweight test to us. Like, if you hear Arsenal playing Villa next in the semi-finals, right? You're like, God damn it, we're in the final. But that doesn't make it easy. I want us to go the hard way. I want us to use the harder route and get to the final. It will have punched us. It will have given us that experience that we so much need to take on clubs like to take on clubs like Barca, Bayern, Inter Milan that are on the other side of the draw. Now, I fancy Arsenal to win against any team that will come in the semi-finals, whether that's PSG or whether it's Aston Villa. I really don't care. If we have gone through Madrid, we can go through any other team and any other stadium, right? So the job is to do a job at the Santiago Bernabeu and just go on. Now, why do I think Arsenal can do a job in the Champions League, right? Especially at the stage where we are. One, we have seen that defenses in the Champions League matter, right? At times, of course, they don't. You hear these 4-4, 3-3 against Manchester City versus Madrid, then Feyenoord versus Manchester City. The Champions League has goals, right? But in the latter stages of the competition, your defense really matters. Remember when those days where Bayern used to beat us 5-0, an aggregate of 10-0, and you're like, what is going on? What are we doing? What is Arsenal doing? That is because we used to take this defense to the Champions League. Loro Koscielny, Sebastian Supulaci, Mathieu Debuchy, who was playing at left back. Don't care. You can't do that. In the semi-finals and the quarterfinals and the round of 16 in the Champions League, your defense is going to matter. Your goalkeeper is going to matter. Yesterday, Thibaut Courtois was a massive, massive difference between these two teams, right? And Madrid still lost, but if it's not for Thibaut Courtois, they lose that game by 4-0, and the tie has been decided and it's over. Right now, they have a lifeline. If they can score one goal within the first 20 minutes of the game, it's game on. It's back on, right? So I want to say our defense is a key requisite for us to have success in the Champions League. And it has been good all season. It's been the flagship of this Arsenal team whole season. It's been the terror of the Premier League. Like when you think about the Premier League and you think about landmarks, the Arsenal defense is a landmark. The Liverpool attack is a landmark. Manchester City's poor quality is a landmark. The sheer genius of Bournemouth is a landmark, and a couple of others. So I think our defense is good enough to stop most of the attacks in the Premier League, in the Champions League right now. Like, okay, let's look at PSG. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Bakola, Goncalo Ramos. Can we stop that? And then Zaire. Can we stop that? I think if you can stop Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe, you can actually stop that. The difference between PSG and Madrid is PSG have this natural connection and they just find each other. They're so good at finding each other. They'll find spaces. They have the connection. They have the connectivity. A bit like the way Arsenal were in the 23-24 season, right? We could just find the connection, especially towards the end. We could just find the connection. And that's why PSG would be harder to stop than Madrid right now. Madrid are in absolute disarray, but PSG are in a good shape. But I still think our defense can stop them. I think Timber can stop Kvaratskhelia. Dembele is a harder one to stop. Like, people don't realize that Dembele is a bigger talent than Balotelli, and the world has not seen the best of Dembele ever in football. And maybe we will, and maybe we will not. But I think we can stop them. Then the Barcelona attack, which is Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Robert Lewandowski. Now, Arsenal struggle against elite nines, right? Elite nines. I'm talking elite nines. But I think we can stop that attack too. I think we can do a job on them. Inter Milan, Marcus Thuram, Fratesi, Lautaro Martinez. They have DiMarco at left back. Is so good at pouring in crosses with a lot of accuracy and power. I think we can stop them, but we've played them before and it didn't go well. But we can do a job on them if it comes to the final, right? So I think we can stop this Madrid. We can stop these attacks using our defense. The second thing why I think Arsenal stand a chance, we have one of the best midfields in the competition, in all teams remaining, and our midfield is quite resilient and relentless in our pressing. Yesterday, Madrid suffered a big blow. Like, they just couldn't build up. We had players around Camavinga, we had players around Valverde, we had players around Jude Bellingham. They couldn't progress the ball from the deeper areas of the pitch to the higher advanced areas of the pitch. They couldn't get into zone 14. They couldn't. And if you can't progress the ball, how do you expect to score? It's as simple as that. So I think our midfield, if I'm to compare it, like I said, PSG play with Zaire Emery. They play with Fabian Ruiz, João Gomez, and Vitinha. Vitinha is a massive talent, like really massive talent. But when I think about João Gomez and I think about Partey, we are safe. When I think about Declan Rice and I think Vitinha is better, honestly, for me. But we are still safe. When I think about Odegaard and I think about Fabian Ruiz, I think we are safe. I think our midfield can do a job against PSG's midfield, honestly. Barca, I kind of feel like they're lightweight in midfield, right? I kind of feel like they're lightweight. Gavi, Pedri, obviously, the likes of Fermin Lopez. They're not a bad team. I just think that Arsenal can do a job, right, on the likes of Frankie and his team. Bayern, We've played them before last season. The likes of Goretzka, the likes of Musiala. We can't do a job on them, can't we? We can't do a job on them. So our midfield is one of the best left in the competition. And then you have set pieces. That is one thing that can help you. Maybe game is 2-0, sorry, 2-2, and then you need just that one goal. Then drama comes in, and boom, you go through. And then finally, we are giant killers, right? We are giant killers. There are fewer games left, and it means that we're gonna be playing more of the bigger teams. And us have been giant killers this season. Think about Madrid, think about Manchester City, think about all these big teams. They haven't actually done a scratch on us, right? So for me, I really believe Arsenal have a big chance to win the Champions League